I'm going to tell you a secret about making an elevator pitch that I don't think anybody will have told you before. And in this video, I'm going to do things a little differently from how I've done some of my previous videos before, because I want to talk about principles, things that are underneath the way we do things. So when people talk about making an elevator pitch, what they generally mean is that if you were in an elevator, which we call a lift here in the UK, but that's okay, an elevator, we know what it means. If you're in an elevator with someone, you've got maybe 30 seconds to introduce yourself, explain what you do in such a way that they'll want to say, hey, give me your business card or let me have your number, and that they will potentially turn into a client in an elevator. You're a complete stranger, you're going up a few floors, and you have that conversation. That's the idea behind an elevator pitch. Now, I could simply repeat or regurgitate in my own words what others have told you before. And in fact, if you look around YouTube about how to make a 30-second elevator pitch, you will find plenty of good examples. But I want to tell you a story that I think may change the way you look at elevator pitches, and in fact, any kind of sales pitch that you do from now on. And it comes from my experience in the world of personal development and psychotherapy, which some of you who know me will know that that was my world and my work, as well as my personal life as well, for 37 years. And the story is that I was an attendee at a very intensive workshop back in the early 1990s. And it was a small group, and as I said, it was intensive. It was a 3-day event, powerful stuff, powerful psychological stuff. And at the introductory talk, the woman who was leading the event said to the group, "There's nothing you can bring that I can't handle." And it didn't sound like a boast. It wasn't said in an arrogant way. It was a very reassuring way that she spoke, a kind of cradling. She was holding us because she knew that some of what we were going to go through for the next 3 days would bring up fear. There's nothing you can bring that I can't handle. But one of the effects that had on me was that there was a light bulb moment when I understood that that was true for me as well. There's nothing you can bring that I can't handle. Now that sounds arrogant, but it isn't, because the same is true for you. And I don't even know who you are watching this. We all have that. And the reason that there's nothing anyone else can bring that you or I couldn't handle is because at root, we all as human beings have the same basic needs and therefore the same basic problems. So let's bring that round to an elevator pitch. If you know that, it doesn't matter whether the person you meet in the elevator is a butcher, a baker, a candlestick maker. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter what they think their problem is. Not that they're going to tell you that in an elevator, but let's say they've got a business of some kind. And you can say, well, I help butchers or bakers or candlestick makers get more customers or improve their profit margins in a matter of a month or whatever it is that you can do. And you might say, without spending any extra on advertising. Maybe that's what your offer is. But it doesn't matter what they are or what they think their problem is. The effect you want to have in that 30-second journey in the elevator is that they go, "What? How do you do that?" And you say, "Well, I haven't got time now. This is my floor. Here, have my card." That's the conversation you want to have. Now, the key point I'm trying to make here about an elevator pitch, and there's clearly a lot more I could say about the whole principle of what I'm talking about. But the key point here is that don't have one fixed elevator pitch. If you're saying, oh, well, I only work with butchers, and the person you meet in the elevator happens to be a baker or a candlestick maker, oh, well, I can't help you, because you just left a whole lot of money and business and opportunity on the table, which is ridiculous. So instead, have a flexible elevator pitch that no matter what they say they do or what they imagine their problem is, and I use the word imagine advisedly, you can help them. So let me bring this home. Why would I say that they imagine their problem? Their problems are real. Your problems are real. If I said to you, well, you're only imagining that problem, you'd probably get very angry with me, as I might if you said it to me. But the reality is, think about it. If you know that there's a solution somewhere because you know other people have solved exactly the same problem and probably far worse. So it can't be that the problem is the problem. It's the way you're looking at it that's the problem. Now, you may say, but I've looked at it 10,000 different ways. Well, that may be so. Probably haven't actually looked at it 10,000 different ways. You might have looked at it the same way or a handful of ways 10,000 times, but you still haven't come out of that box of thinking because that's the only thinking that you know. That's not your fault. That's when you need help. That's when you need a coach. That's when you need to buy a course or whatever it is. So it's not about, the problem isn't the problem. Let me make a simple analogy here so that we take the emotion out of it. Have you ever been with a friend or your partner or a member of the family to see a movie that one of you loved and one of you thought it was utter junk? Of course you have. You've seen them on the television or whatever. Well, I thought it was brilliant. Oh, really? What a waste of life. And so I was just thinking of a movie that I had that experience with. I won't name it. I hated it. But it can't be the movie. It's the same movie. Both of you just saw exactly the same movie, frame for frame. One of you loved it, one of you hated it. Can't be the movie. The love or the hate or the reaction of any kind is in you. So when someone is stuck with a problem, the stuckness, well, in fact, and the problem, is really in them because the solution exists. For some reason, they haven't seen it, they're resistant to trying it, they don't think they can make it, whatever. That's where you come in as a coach. And that's, you want to construct your elevator pitch in a flexible way so that it addresses, whatever problem you have, I'll fix it. Now, it may be that you want to obviously pigeonhole that a bit. So if you're a business coach or a marketing coach, that's one thing. If you're a relationship coach, then it doesn't matter if it's obviously a butcher, a baker, a candlestick maker. You would say, I help people with their, fix their broken or breaking relationships, or I help shy people find love, or whatever it is that you do. But you would still couch it around them. So that's my point. I'm not going to give you a formula for an elevator pitch. You can find that everywhere. I want to give you an understanding of why people believe they have problems and how they get stuck, because that's what your elevator pitch and indeed your other sales messages need to address, because that's how people feel understood. So we could obviously go into a lot more depth about this, and if you would like to, then please get in touch. I'm going to put a link here on the screen now, and you won't be able to click that because it'll just come up on the screen, but in the description below, if you're watching this on YouTube, I will put a clickable link to that. So if you would like to discuss getting unstuck in your business with me for no charge, then click that link and schedule a call with me. I don't do pushy sales pitches. I will help, and if I really feel I cannot help, I will tell you I cannot help. That's never happened yet, but since I already told you, there's no problem you can bring that I can't handle. But hey ho, I'm up for a challenge. But if you want to talk to me, click the link and let's talk. Schedule a call. It costs you nothing, and if we do decide towards the end of the call that we would like to discuss going further and working together, of course we can have an adult conversation about that, and either one of us can say no as well. So that's up to you. But click that link and let's talk, and I hope this has been helpful to you, and I will see you very soon in another video.